My beloved child, lean closer and listen. A door is opening before you, one you never imagined existed. Something unseen is shifting around you right now. What you thought was coincidence is actually alignment. A door that stayed hidden for years is slowly opening, and it carries a weight you were never told about. This moment did not arrive by chance. It found you because it was meant to. Long before today, a decision was already moving in the background, quietly, patiently, waiting for you to awaken to it. There is a man of great means, someone who does not stand in your daily life, yet is deeply connected to your story. He has watched from a distance, knowing a truth that was never spoken aloud. A truth tied to your bloodline, your name, and your purpose. He carries knowledge about you that you do not yet fully understand, and that knowledge has led him to prepare something significant in your favor. This is not a random act of generosity. This is not luck. This is orchestration. God says this moment was scheduled before you ever questioned your path. Heaven does not reveal things early or late. It reveals them on time. And now, time has reached you. Archangel Michael says, do not delay. Those words are not symbolic. They are urgent. They carry weight. There is movement happening in the unseen, and hesitation could cost more than you realize. What is being prepared carries authority, responsibility, and a revelation that goes far beyond money or possessions. You may feel something stirring inside you as you hear this. A quiet pull. A pressure in the chest. A sense that something is clicking into place. That feeling is not imagination. It is recognition. Your spirit remembers something your mind is only beginning to catch up with. This moment is tied to a date that carries consequence. January 24th is not just a day on a calendar. It is a turning point. A line drawn where choices matter. What is offered must be received, or it will be released elsewhere. Not out of punishment, but because divine order does not wait forever. Stay present with this message. Do not rush past it. Each word uncovers another layer of truth. If this is stirring something within you, take a moment to stay connected here so you don't miss what unfolds next. When messages arrive at the right time, they deserve your attention. What is being transferred is not just land, documents, or authority. It is release. It is closure to generational burdens that were never explained to you. The man preparing this has prayed that you would recognize the moment before it slips away. He is not acting out of impulse. He is responding to something he cannot ignore. The Spirit says this is about identity. You are stepping into understanding who you are, not who you were told to be. That quiet sense you carried for years that something was missing, something unsaid that was not confusion. That was awareness waiting for truth. Do not look outward for validation. Beloved, look inward. You have always felt there was more to your story. A hidden chapter. A name left unspoken. What you felt was real, and now it is rising to the surface. Michael says, the truth is breaking into your life. But here this clearly delay carries risk. After January 24th, decisions finalize. What was meant for you can be redirected if it is ignored. Not because it wasn't yours, but because readiness matters. The time pressure you feel is real. Heaven moves with precision. When the window opens, it does not stay open forever. If this message resonates with you, remain attentive to what follows. One word can shift understanding. The next can redirect your future. Archangel Michael is standing guard over this moment. Forces that tried to keep you small, silent, or unaware are being pushed back. There were influences that wanted this truth buried so you would never step into it. But God says that season has ended. What you're feeling now is not emotion. It is confirmation. A deep inner knowing that says, "This belongs to me." The man connected to this decision is not distant by accident. His urgency comes from knowing his time to act is limited. Listen closely. You are standing at the edge of revelation. This is not whispered because it cannot wait. Authority is shifting. Responsibility is being placed. What is prepared carries your name because it was always meant to. There may be a voice trying to convince you this is too much, too unlikely, too big. That voice feeds on hesitation. Archangel Michael says, "Do not give your ears to doubt. Give your heart to truth." Certain dates act as gateways. January 24th is one of them. After it passes, what was offered cannot be reclaimed in the same way. That is why urgency surrounds this message. The papers are ready. The decision is near. Awareness is the key. Stay close to this word. Let it settle. Let it clarify. You don't need to rush, but you must not ignore it. What feels like unease is not fear. It is recognition. Something long unseen has been circling your life, waiting for this exact moment to be revealed. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $10. Secrets do not stay buried forever, and tonight the ground beneath them is cracking open. People around you softened the truth, trimmed the edges, and left whole chapters untold, but your spirit never accepted the silence. You always sensed there was more behind the stories you were given. That quiet knowing was not rebellion or imagination. It was awareness waiting for the right moment to rise. The wealthy man you've heard about is not distant by accident. He is woven into those hidden chapters. His name intersects with yours through history, not coincidence. What he holds is not just a signature but an answer, one that explains why certain doors closed while others never even appeared. He knows something about your family line that was never meant to disappear, only to wait. Resistance has surrounded you lately because opposition always gathers near revelation. Distraction, doubt, and restlessness were not random moods. They were attempts to pull your focus away before clarity arrived. Archangel Michael says, "Do not ignore this." Each moment you remain present, another layer lifts, another shadow loosens its grip. This decision was not rushed, it was wrestled over in silence. For months, the man carried this weight, watching from afar, wanting to step forward yet restrained by timing. Heaven told him when to wait and when to move. Now the waiting has ended, and urgency has replaced hesitation for a reason that cannot be delayed. January 24th stands like a marker, not chosen by preference but by instruction. It is not simply a deadline set by a human hand. It is a point of transfer where choice meets consequence. God says this window exists because readiness matters just as much as destiny. What is offered must be received in alignment, or it will move on. Ask yourself why you encountered this message now, so close to that moment. You could have passed it by. You could have dismissed it. Yet something anchored you here. That pause was not accidental. It was recognition. Heaven arranged this crossing because this word belongs to you, not to the crowd. Michael says, your name is being written where your eyes cannot yet reach. The decision has already taken form, but preparation is still unfolding within you. This is why staying attentive matters. As understanding settles, alignment follows. When the heart catches up with truth, resistance loses its power. Every delay you endured was not denial, it was direction. Questions that went unanswered, burdens that felt unfair, and seasons that made no sense were shaping capacity. God says those pauses were necessary because what you are stepping into requires more than excitement. It requires steadiness. This message carries weight because it is guarded, not casual. Archangel Michael is not announcing a rumor. He stands watch over what is being revealed, protecting it until you are ready to hold it. The wealthy man did not act from impulse, the instruction was placed in his spirit, and obedience followed. The authority being transferred is not symbolic, it is tangible and demanding. Power of attorney is not about possession alone. It is the right to decide, to protect, to govern wisely. When it rests on your name, it places responsibility on your shoulders. You are not being handed ease, you are being entrusted with purpose. If confusion presses in now, understand why. Opposition grows loud when timing grows close. Thoughts telling you to disengage or doubt are not wisdom, they are interruption. Archangel Michael says, stay. This moment opens the door you have been circling your entire life. Truth will surface, and when it does, it will redefine your story. Family details long hidden will come into light, explaining patterns that never added up. Some around you may resist this change. Some may question it. But this inheritance is not theirs to validate. It was assigned to you. January 24th approaches with finality, not fear. On that day, direction settles into permanence. Heaven honors readiness. If alignment is ignored, the offering will be released elsewhere, not in anger, but in order. This is both an invitation and a test of trust. The man's choice is not generosity, it is obedience. God says your name was spoken to him clearly. The date was made clear. The timing was set. That is why he cannot rest until the transfer is complete. And that is why you are hearing this now, at the appointed hour. This is not coincidence unfolding, it is orchestration taking shape. Michael is not addressing a crowd, he is speaking to you. Doors once sealed are opening, questions long buried are surfacing, and as January 24th draws near, the truth is stepping forward with clarity. Most people never uncover the hidden roots of their own story. They live without knowing why certain paths pulled them or why certain doors resisted them. You are standing at a rare threshold where understanding meets opportunity, and what you choose to do with this awareness will define what follows. Their bloodline carried it, their inheritance waited in silence, but you were chosen to uncover it. That is why your spirit refuses to pull away. That is why each sentence seems to draw you deeper. This is not meant to entertain you or pass the time. This is recognition. This is destiny meeting awareness at the exact moment it was meant to. The wealthy man has not carried this lightly, it has weighed on him like an unspoken confession. He has watched time move forward, asking himself when the truth should finally be revealed. Again and again, the question returned. And now, before January 24th, the pressure has become undeniable. God says the moment to act has arrived, and obedience can no longer wait. Urgency surrounds you because alignment has finally caught up with preparation. Archangel Michael says you are not late. You are precisely where you need to be. Still, there are those close enough to sense change who do not want this uncovered. They grew comfortable with what you did not know, and awareness threatens that comfort. Resistance will rise because truth disrupts old arrangements. Some will question, some will push back, some will attempt to confuse you. Do not be shaken. The same presence that led you here stands watch as clarity unfolds. Protection surrounds revelation when revelation is assigned. These words feel heavy because they carry consequence, not drama. This is not a casual message. It is pressure from heaven breaking through layers of silence. When something deep inside you responds, that is confirmation, not emotion. Destiny always feels weighty before it feels clear. Inheritance is not limited to assets, it is identity returning to its rightful place. It is legacy waking up after years of being buried. What is being handed to you is not only material authority, but understanding. The wealthy man is not offering possessions alone. He is revealing who you are by showing you what was always connected to your name. January 24th is not a reminder, it is a dividing line. Once crossed, what is decided becomes permanent. Archangel Michael says stay alert, stay aware, stay receptive. Moments like this do not repeat themselves casually. Distraction is the oldest tool used against awakening. Voices will suggest waiting, delaying, returning later. But later dissolves opportunity. Right now, alignment is taking place. Right now, unseen protection surrounds you. Right now, your name is being spoken where outcomes are decided. This encounter was not random, and your reaction proves it. Your attention paused here because it was called here. Your heart stirred because it recognized something written long ago. God says this meeting was appointed, not accidental. There is another layer you must understand before moving forward. What is being transferred carries spiritual weight as well as legal authority. By placing responsibility in your name, generational limitations are being released. Patterns your family lived under without explanation are ending with you. You are the interruption to old cycles, not the continuation of them. Doors that never opened before are responding now because you are the one meant to walk through them. That is why the timing feels intense. Seasons do not wait once they arrive. This message feels heavier than others because it carries instruction, not suggestion. What is opening before you will not remain open indefinitely. If refused, it will close without apology. Heaven honors readiness. The wealth connected to this decision is layered with wisdom, strategy, and truth. It is not only held in documents but in understanding that reshapes direction. Before clarity completes itself, signs will surface that confirm what your spirit already knows. Archangel Michael says this moment must not be taken lightly. What is unfolding is observed, measured, and protected. The inheritance is not paper. It is prophecy. The signature is not ink. It is covenant. The date is not symbolic. It is decisive. That stirring you've noticed lately is not anxiety, it is awareness activating. Restless nights, heightened sensitivity, a sense of being observed, these are signals of transition. Your soul is responding to what heaven already acknowledges. For years, truth remained sealed, not forgotten. For years, your name was withheld, not erased. God says the silence has served its purpose, and now release replaces restraint. This wealth is tied to promises spoken long before you existed. Prayers from ancestors you never met echo through this moment. The burden you carried without explanation was not misplaced. It was inheritance waiting for timing. There is one condition that cannot be ignored. Response matters. Alignment matters. Delay redirects what was prepared. Heaven does not want you waking up to regret, asking what might have been. Staying attentive until the end is essential, not optional. Each piece builds understanding, and clarity arrives when nothing is missing. Only then does the full picture settle into place. Remember the seasons when you nearly gave up. Those moments trained endurance. Silence sharpened discernment. Pain expanded capacity. God says none of it was wasted. Archangel Michael says you were never abandoned, never overlooked, never forgotten. You were prepared. And now, as awareness rises, those who hope to keep you unaware are losing their hold. Truth has a way of breaking chains the moment it is accepted. Distraction will try to pull at you now because revelation is fragile in its first moments. Your phone may buzz, your thoughts may drift, doubt may knock softly, but this is not the time to loosen your grip. What is being placed in your heart right now is a seed, and seeds are always targeted before they take root. Stay. Guard this moment. Heaven has opened the door, but only you can choose to remain standing in front of it. The wealthy man's obedience has created the opening, but your obedience completes the circle. Opportunity has been extended, yet belief is what allows it to land. Heaven never forces destiny, it invites it. The door remains open for a short while longer, and that window narrows as January 24th draws closer. This is not pressure meant to frighten you. It is clarity meant to awaken you. Power of attorney is not small in the natural, and it is even greater in the spiritual. It carries authority, influence, and the ability to decide where things go and how they are protected. Spiritually, this means heaven is trusting you with weight. God says, "I am clothing you in authority." When you speak, resistance will move. When you decide, pathways will shift. What once ignored you will now respond. Authority always attracts opposition, so do not be surprised when it shows up. Familiar faces may change. Warmth may cool. Conversations may feel strained. Light reveals motives, and not everyone welcomes exposure. But you are not walking into this alone. Archangel Michael stands beside you, and what is guarded by heaven cannot be overturned by people. Even now, unseen protection is settling into place around your life. You may sense it as heaviness, stillness, or intensity in your chest. That is not fear. That is alignment. Angels move quietly, but their presence leaves an impression your spirit recognizes. Stay present, because what follows carries confirmation. What comes next will not be vague feelings but visible signs. Before January 24th, markers will appear that prove this is not imagination. Patterns will shift. Conversations will surface. Information will find its way to you without effort. This is how truth announces itself when the time has come. You were never meant to live small, no matter how often you were told to be content with less. That unease you carried was not emptiness. It was memory. It was the echo of a promise waiting for the right moment to speak again. Now the curtain is lifting, and what was hidden is stepping forward. The wealthy man did not arrive at this decision easily. He resisted it, questioned it, and tried to push it aside. But the pressure did not lift. Sleep escaped him. Peace withdrew. Until finally, obedience became the only relief. That is when your name moved from thought to action, from silence to ink. Michael says, "The scroll has been unsealed." That means what was written long ago is now being read aloud. When authority is transferred, it changes position, not just ownership. Spiritually, this marks a shift where you stand differently than before. You are no longer reaching. You are receiving. This moment carries a test that cannot be ignored. Will you trust what is unfolding even when distractions call for your attention? Will you remain steady when doubt tries to bargain for delay? Revelation demands response, and response shapes outcome. January 24th is not symbolic, it is decisive. Archangel Michael says it is a cutoff point. After it passes, what was offered will not linger. What is meant for you must be met with readiness, or it will be released elsewhere according to order. Pay attention to changes in those closest to you. Some already sense movement they cannot explain. Distance, tension, or sudden conflict is often a reaction to shifts they cannot control. Your rising unsettles what depended on your silence. Do not shrink to keep others comfortable. The same angel who guards heaven's gates guards the entrance to your future. What once felt impossible is now accessible. The ground beneath your feet is changing, even if the surface still looks familiar. Stand firm. Remember how many times you nearly quit before this moment arrived. Those nights of exhaustion, those thoughts of giving up, were not signs of weakness. They were preparation. Heaven sustained you because this moment required endurance you did not yet know you had. Michael says, "You have been faithful with little, and now more is being placed in your care." But with increase comes responsibility. With authority comes resistance. With inheritance comes jealousy. Not everyone will celebrate what is being entrusted to you. Do not confuse accusation with truth when voices begin to rise. The same voice that speaks to you now is the one that called your name before you had language. God says that voice does not mislead and does not fail. If the atmosphere feels heavy, it is because movement is happening. If your hands tremble or your focus sharpens, it is because alignment is taking place. This is not just information passing before your eyes. It is prophecy settling into your spirit. Stay steady as the final confirmations approach. Signs will appear clearly before January 24th, not to confuse you but to anchor you. Do not rush ahead and do not pull back. Each word you have heard has been a step, and the path is almost fully revealed. The weight of this revelation is not meant to crush you but to crown you. For too long, you lived among unanswered questions. Now truth is stepping into the light, carrying both beauty and responsibility. The wealthy man is acting from obedience, not emotion. He was instructed, pressed, and guided until compliance became unavoidable. That is why the date was marked. That is why the timing is precise. Michael says the season of delay has ended. Heaven is no longer speaking softly because clarity has arrived. What remains now is your decision to stand fully present as destiny finishes unfolding. It is roaring now because the window is narrowing, and heaven is speaking with urgency. Time is no longer stretching forward endlessly, it is focusing into a moment that must be recognized. What has been released will not linger indefinitely. This is not something to postpone or reconsider later. Later will not return. This is the moment that has been moving toward you, quietly, faithfully, until now. Notice how precise this alignment feels, because precision is the language of heaven. At this exact hour, your attention was drawn here when it could have been anywhere else. Your heart responds because your spirit recognizes its own name in these words. In the kingdom, coincidence has no authority. This is orchestration, and the Spirit whispers that you were chosen for this exact season. There is a deeper thread binding this moment, one that reaches beyond memory. The wealthy man is not connected to you only through blood or records. He is linked to prayers spoken generations ago. Someone before you cried out for justice, restoration, and redemption, and that cry was not ignored. God says the answer was preserved, carried forward through time, and entrusted to you. This explains why your life has never felt ordinary or easy. The weight you carried was not random. The resistance you faced was not accidental. Battles intensified because something valuable was approaching. The enemy sensed what was stored for you and tried to stop you early, but every attempt failed. You are still here, and because you endured, you are now positioned to receive. Survival was not the end of your story, it was the preparation. Every setback sharpened discernment. Every heartbreak built capacity. Every betrayal revealed strength you did not know you had. What was meant to destroy you instead refined you, and refinement always precedes release. Archangel Michael says, "Prepare yourself, for the signs are already moving." Before January 24th, you will notice shifts that cannot be dismissed. Old connections may resurface without warning. Conversations about family matters may appear unexpectedly. Information may arrive without effort. These are not interruptions. They are confirmations that what was hidden is moving into the open. Do not minimize these signs, because small confirmations often precede great clarity. Each one is a marker along the path, pointing you forward. When the appointed day arrives, you will recognize how consistently heaven has been guiding you. Hear this plainly, because clarity removes regret. The deadline is final. If this moment is ignored, the decision will move forward without you. What was prepared will be released elsewhere according to order, and awakening after the fact brings questions that cannot be undone. Heaven does not want that for you. That is why this truth meets you now. Receiving this is not taking what is not yours, it is accepting what was assigned. Some may question. Some may envy. Some may misunderstand. But heaven does not reverse what it has already confirmed. Your name has been written. Authority has been positioned. What remains is willingness. This moment carries weight because it carries restoration. It is not only about resources. It is about alignment returning to a family line. It is about cycles ending and new direction beginning with you. Generational prayers converge here, answered not in fragments but in fullness. Archangel Michael says the choice stands before you clearly. The inheritance is prepared, and so is the responsibility. The wealthy man has already acted in obedience. He did not move lightly. His hands trembled because he understood he was responding to something greater than himself. January 24th was not selected by convenience, it was marked by command. A line has been drawn where outcomes settle. When that day arrives, what is sealed becomes permanent. Heaven honors decisiveness. Reflect on the intensity of the struggles behind you, because they reveal what was ahead. Storms rose not to defeat you but to redirect you. Losses emptied your hands so they could be filled again. Conflicts exposed truth that clarity now requires. What looked like delay was actually direction. The tide is turning because the season has shifted. What once resisted you will no longer hold. What once confused you will now make sense. Patterns will connect. Names will resurface. Conversations will realign. The Spirit says the story has been woven carefully, even when you could not see it. Prepare yourself, because truth brings both light and weight. When authority settles fully into your hands, reactions will follow. Not everyone will celebrate. Some will challenge. Some will resist. But you were chosen with awareness of that resistance. Heaven does not assign lightly. Archangel Michael says what has been written cannot be undone. What is unfolding now has been guarded until this moment. Remain steady. Stay attentive. Let understanding finish its work. This is not the end of the message, it is the convergence of everything that came before it. What has been hidden is stepping into clarity. What has been promised is nearing completion. And as this window remains open, your presence here is not accidental. It is responsive. It is aware. It is ready. Stand firm as destiny completes its movement. The sound you sense is not pressure, it is purpose settling into place. What heaven has prepared stands before you now, and the season calls for recognition, courage, and trust as the final confirmations approach. Stay firm, because the pressure you feel is not fear, it is movement. Michael whispers that he is fighting beside you, and that is why signs are already forming around your life. Watch the details most people overlook. A message that arrives unexpectedly. A document that seems ordinary but carries unusual weight. A dream that lingers long after you wake. These are not random moments. They are quiet signals that something larger is approaching. Destiny never arrives loudly at first, it approaches in footsteps. Each sign is a step closer, each confirmation a reminder that this word is grounded in truth, not imagination. When January 24th arrives, the pieces will connect in ways that cannot be denied. What feels unclear now will suddenly make sense. Hear the warning with clarity, not fear. If this moment is dismissed, if attention drifts away, what was prepared will move forward without you. The wealthy man has already reached his decision. His part is settled. What remains is your response. Standing still is also a choice, and choice determines outcome. This is not the hour for doubt or the season for retreat. This is the moment to stand fully present, to receive what is unfolding, and to recognize who you have always been beneath the layers of delay and confusion. God says you were never meant to arrive empty-handed. Lean closer, because this message is no longer circling you, it is settling within you. Something deep inside is waking up. Heaven has waited patiently, and now awareness is catching up with purpose. Archangel Michael is not whispering now. He is declaring with authority that what has been prepared carries your name. The wealthy man sits quietly, holding papers already signed. Memories pass through his mind, faces, names, events that connect him to you in ways you have not yet seen. He knows he cannot reverse what was commanded. Still, one question presses on him: will you recognize the moment in time? January 24th was not chosen by preference, it was appointed. Michael says the hourglass is nearly empty. What has been delayed is now complete. Heaven does not rush, but it does conclude. Many work to keep you from this truth because truth breaks control. Some spoke lies. Others blurred facts. A few stood close while hiding intentions. They benefited from what you did not know. But as understanding rises, their influence weakens. That tension you feel is like meeting resistance. What you sense now is the meeting of two forces. Fear tries to restrain you, but clarity is stronger. Light does not ask permission to rise. It simply does. And the angel of God declares that the light has already won. Inheritance reaches beyond possessions, it restores what was withheld. The act unfolding now releases blessings that were delayed, interrupted, or diverted along your family line. What returns does not arrive diminished. It arrives multiplied, carrying purpose as well as provision. Watch closely in the days ahead, because confirmation is approaching. You may overhear a conversation that shifts your understanding. Someone's behavior toward you may change without explanation. A door may open where none existed before. These are not accidents. They are markers placed along the path. Do not be surprised if not everyone responds with joy. Some will dismiss what they cannot control. Others will speak from fear or jealousy. But the word you are hearing now does not come from human opinion. It comes from a source that does not mislead. Michael whispers that a battle is unfolding beyond what you can see. Opposition aims to exhaust you, distract you, and pull your focus away. Yet notice how clarity increases when you remain attentive. That peace rising beneath the pressure is evidence of protection holding its ground. Understand what is truly at stake. This is not only wealth. It is direction. It is not just paperwork. It is authority. It is not simply opportunity. It is legacy. What happens at this threshold will shape what follows. Reflect on how many times you nearly lost everything and still remained. You survived nights that should have broken you. You endured seasons that drained your strength. That survival was not accidental. Heaven guarded you for this exact moment. The trembling you feel is not fear, it is recognition. Your spirit remembers a promise spoken long before you had words. That memory is surfacing now, calling you forward. This is why you cannot look away. Stay present as the revelation builds, because clarity completes itself. The final understanding does not arrive in fragments. It arrives when all the pieces align. And they are aligning now. You have been tested, refined, and strengthened through fire. You walked through dry places where relief felt distant, yet you continued. God says that endurance shaped capacity, and capacity makes room for what is coming. Remain steady, because the final confirmations are near. What is written stands. What is prepared waits. And as the appointed time approaches, your awareness is not accidental. It is responsive. It is ready. You walked through nights where even the stars refused to shine, yet you kept moving forward. That endurance was not accidental. Heaven was shielding something precious for this exact hour. Archangel Michael says, "The one who survives the storm is the one entrusted with what follows it." What you endured was not meant to break you, it was meant to prove you could carry what was coming. This movement is not driven by logic, paperwork, or impulse, it is driven by command. The wealthy man did not arrive at this decision through calculation. Power of attorney is not released casually, and authority is not transferred without weight. God says this shift was ordered, not negotiated. That is why your name now rests where you never imagined it would. Let this truth settle, because what approaches exceeds your expectations. What is being prepared will not only alter your path but ripple outward, touching lives connected to yours. This is why opposition was relentless. The resistance you faced was aimed at stopping impact, not comfort. Yet you rose anyway. Archangel Michael says, what tried to bury you only prepared the ground for your harvest. Recognize the gravity of this moment without shrinking from it. You are not here by accident, and you did not stumble into these words. The pull in your chest and the fire in your gut are alignment, not anxiety. Heaven is meeting your soul at the point of readiness. Understand this clearly: celebration will not be universal when truth comes to light. Some will resist with whispers and accusations rather than open conflict. They may question your worthiness or attempt to sow doubt. God says, "Let no one label unworthy what I have already chosen." Their resistance is not about you, it is about what has already been decided. January 24th carries urgency because heaven values preparedness. Dates are not marked to create fear but to focus attention. This is a window where alignment turns into reality. Missed windows close quietly. Entered windows change everything. In the days ahead, shifts will become noticeable. Dreams may grow clearer. Conversations may carry double meaning. Unexpected information may surface without effort. These are not distractions, they are confirmations. Pay attention. Remember them. They are proof that these words are alive. The battle intensifies when clarity is close. Doubt will attempt to crowd your thoughts, not because truth is weak, but because it is strong. Archangel Michael says, "Stand firm." The moment the mind aligns with what the spirit already knows, resistance loses ground. This is your moment, and fear has no authority here. God says courage has already been placed within you, not hesitation. Authority, not delay, marks this season. What is unfolding requires presence, not retreat. Heaven is heavy with your name right now, even if you feel ordinary. Extraordinary assignments often rest on unassuming lives. That stirring inside you is not emotion alone, it is memory awakening. Archangel Michael says, "What was sealed is opening. What was hidden is becoming visible. What was forgotten is being restored." The wealthy man's action fulfills prophecy, not preference. He is a vessel carrying out an order written beyond time. Hands may hold the pen, but heaven holds the command. That command was simple and final: place it in their name. January 24th stands as a line that does not blur. On that day, what is signed becomes irreversible. Alignment before it allows flow, hesitation redirects what was prepared. Archangel Michael says, "Do not let delay rob you of what was written for you." Look back and notice the pattern that once confused you. Repeated resistance, unexplained losses, and painful betrayals were not random. They were warfare against a future the enemy glimpsed but could not stop. Heaven preserved you because your story was not finished. The pain that nearly crushed you also qualified you. Endurance built capacity. Waiting forged wisdom. Trials shaped strength. God says the testing has ended, release follows. When the inheritance becomes visible, reactions will follow. Some will rage quietly. Others will attempt to sway opinions. None of that can erase what has been decreed. Archangel Michael says, "Your name has been etched in fire." Before January 24th, confirmations will continue to appear. A direct conversation, a vivid dream, an unexpected opening where none existed. These are alignments, not accidents. The transfer is already in motion. Prepare your heart, because authority carries weight. It calls for wisdom, courage, and steadiness. This is why your trials were long and your waiting heavy. You are being formed to hold what others could not. The shaping is complete, and the release is near. God says you will hold what was once called impossible. This is not chance and not theft, it is fulfillment. Let this truth anchor you as everything aligns. What is transferring carries your name in the language of heaven. No one can replace it. No one can erase it. Remain present as clarity completes its work, because what is concluding now confirms that this revelation belongs to you.